Translation: whenever it is said to them, "Spread not disorder on the earth," their reply is, "We only seek to put things aright." Translation: beware. They do spread disorder, but they realize it not. Translation: and when it is said to them, "Believe sincerely as the other people have believed," they reply, "Should we believe, as fools have believed?" Beware. They themselves are the fools, but they know it not. Commentary: they are being asked to become Muslims in the same manner as others of their community became Muslims. They think that those people who sincerely embraced Islam and thereby exposed themselves to all kinds of trials and persecutions and confronted risks and dangers were merely fools. To them it seems sheer folly to invite the hostility of the entire land merely for the sake of truth and righteousness. In their view, wisdom consists not in bothering oneself with the distinction between truth and falsehood, but in remaining concerned only with one's own interests. Translation: when they meet those who believe, they say, "We too are believers." But when they privily meet their evil geniuses, they say, "Indeed, we are with you. We are only mocking at these people." Commentary: Satan in Arabic means refractory, rebellious and headstrong, and is used for both human beings and jinn. Although this word is generally used in the Quran for the Satans amongst the jinn, it is also used occasionally for human beings possessing satanic characteristics. The context generally explains whether the word Satan refers to jinn or to human beings. In this particular case, the word Satans refers to those influential leaders of the time who were in the vanguard of opposition and hostility to Islam. Translation: little do they realize that Allah is mocking at them. He gives them rope enough, and they wander on and on blindly in their mischief and rebellion. Translation: these are the people who have bartered away guidance for error, but this is a profitless bargain that they have made, and they are not at all on the right way. Translation: their condition may be described in a parable. A man kindled a fire, and when it illuminated all around him, Allah took away the light from their eyes and left them in utter darkness, where they could not see anything. Commentary: this means that two opposite effects emerged when a true servant of God radiated the light which made it possible to distinguish true from false and right from wrong, and made the straight way distinct from the ways of error. To those endowed with true perception, all truths became evident, but those who were almost blinded by the worship of their animal desires perceived nothing. The expression, "Allah took away the light of their perception," should not create the impression that these people were not responsible for their stumbling into darkness. Only those who do not seek the truth, who prefer error to guidance, and who are adamantly disinclined to pursue the truth despite its luminosity, are deprived by God of the light of their perception. God simply enables such people to do what they wish. Translation: they are deaf, they are dumb, they are blind, so they will not return to the right way. Commentary: they have become deaf to hear, dumb to utter, and blind to perceive the truth. Translation, or, still, another parable may be cited to depict their condition. Heavy rain is falling from the sky, accompanied by pitch darkness, thunder and lightning. When they hear the thunderclap, they thrust their fingers into their ears for fear of death. But Allah is encircling the disbelievers on all sides. Commentary: by thrusting their fingers into their ears, they temporarily deceive themselves into believing that they can escape the catastrophic end that awaits them. However, they cannot escape that end since God, with all His might, encompasses them. Translation: the lightning terrifies them as if it were going to snatch away their eyesight from them. When they see light, they move on a little further, and when it becomes dark for them, they stand still. Had Allah so willed, He could have deprived them totally of their hearing and their sight. Most surely Allah has power over everything. Commentary: the first parable refers to those hypocrites who disbelieved completely but had become Muslims merely to further their worldly interests. The second parable refers to those who were prone to doubt and hesitation, or whose faith was weak, who believed in the truth, but not to the extent of exposing themselves to hardships for its sake. The violent rainstorm here alludes to Islam, which came to the world as a blessing. Pitch-dark clouds, thunder and lightning refer to trials, tribulations and difficulties which confronted the Islamic movement, owing to the violent opposition and resistance of those committed to ignorance. The last part of the parable portrays the state of mind of the hypocrites. They move a little ahead when circumstances seem favorable, but when either difficulties cloud the horizon, or when they are given directives which run counter to their desires or inherited prejudices, they are seized with alarm and come to a halt. Just as God has completely deprived the first category of hypocrites of their light of perception, He could have rendered these other hypocrites totally blind and deaf. But it is not God's way to deprive anyone of sight and hearing while He is willing to see and hear. Hence, God allowed them to retain their sight and hearing to the extent they were prepared to see and hear the truth.